Hello everyone, welcome to MGF 1106, Topics in Mathematics Online for the Spring 2020 semester. As you already know, this is a late start, 8-week course online. I will be your instructor, Robert Schaller. If you are registered for this course, this video is going to walk you through everything you need to know to be successful. It will explain all the responsibilities that you have in this course as a student, and it'll be a great reference that you can always go back to throughout the course. Once I post this video, it will remain up forever. So if you don't make it to the on-campus orientation, this video is going to explain everything to you that you need to know from day one to day, final exam, day end. And even if you do make it to the on-campus orientation, but you find yourself later having questions, go back and reference this video as much as you need to, or of course just email me and let me know what your questions are. I'll respond and let you know what you need to know. So there are two courses that will be running side by side simultaneously. If you look on your schedule for when you registered, you either have the course registration number 23297 or the course registration number 23843. These are what we call CRNs for short. The only difference between these two courses, because they are both 8 weeks, they're both late start, they're both taught by me, they're both the exact same, sections, other than just the times are a little bit different. I will do this video for both courses at the same time, so this video is going to apply to both courses. The only difference is that the 23297 CRN, your orientation, midterm, and final exam are going to happen at 2 p.m. on Mondays, whereas the 23843, your orientation, midterm, and final exam will happen at 4 p.m. on the Mondays. And as I go through this video and pick those specific dates out and times out, I'll reference both courses individually, but 99% of this video it's going to be the same information for both courses, so I figure I just do them both in one. So I'm going to click on this section, but the 23843 section is going to look exactly the same when you click on this course in Canvas. So when you get into the course on Canvas, you'll see the home page, which is just all the modules. It has the syllabus, it has my door schedule. You can see there is a syllabus quiz that's due after the first week. It gives you some information on how to register for my math lab, which is the component we use for the homework and the video lectures and all that stuff. There's some testing information, so if you can't make it on campus to take exams, you can take them either on the Venice campus or you can take them at a different college if you're not local. So I have students that have taken my online courses that are out of state, and it still works out just fine. The only thing is you'll have to go find a testing center close to you to take the test. And then I communicate with the testing center and set everything up and basically just send them the exam. You show up, take the exam, and then they send it back to me. The only other two things that you'll need are at the very bottom, and those are the midterm study guide and the final exam study guide. And we'll talk about those as we get to them. But I want to start with the syllabus. So I already have it opened as a PDF. When you click on it, it'll pop up in your browser, but I always recommend opening it as a PDF. It's a little easier to navigate. Sometimes Canvas is a little finicky. So again, this syllabus is basically like a contract between the teacher and the student. I always like to say this on day one because everyone says, why the heck do we need a syllabus, or what does the syllabus actually do for us? It just outlines all the responsibilities in the course. So it will basically say, hey, you have to take a midterm and you have to take a final exam for me. I can't halfway through the course say, you know what, I changed my mind, you're taking 7 exams. I can't do that because it's not on the syllabus. So it's like a contract between you and I. So please read through it. It's 4 pages long and it's pretty wordy. A lot of it is just the legal stuff we have to put on there for every course. And just kind of skim through it and make sure you don't see anything weird. Trust me, there's nothing weird on there. It's basically going to run down to about 2 or 3 important things that you need to know off the syllabus. And once you got those 2 or 3 important things, you're just going to get into the course and start doing your My Math Lab. So there's my name. There's my office. I'm on the Bradenton campus. There's my number. No, that is not my cell phone number. I would be crazy if I gave you my cell phone number. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. There's my email. Here are my office hours. My office hours are a little crazy because I'm teaching 26 credit hours this semester. It's a lot. So instead, I gave you a visual breakdown. This is my door schedule. And I tried to kind of color coordinate it so it looks a little bit better, but it's still a little confusing. Basically, Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm free early, and I'm free after my class gets out around 12:20. Fridays are great for me. Fridays, I'm usually just on campus all day. So I know you're online students, and some of you might be far away from campus. But if you can get to campus to ever, ask questions or anything like that, Friday's a perfect day. I am available outside these hours. You just have to email me and give me a heads up, and then I can work with you. If, say, on like a random Thursday, you don't get off of work until 3:30. Chances are good, even though my schedule doesn't show it, chances are good I might still be there, or I will just stick around for you if you really have questions, say, before the midterm or something like that. So I wanted to give you that schedule, and that is my schedule for spring 2020. I have it posted on my office store, but I figure I'd give it to you so you can see when I'm available. Anyway, back to the syllabus. So course description, basically, and I'm just going to run through this real quick. You can read it at your leisure. Either you took tests that place you in here, or you previously passed MAT 1033 or Pathways to Statistics to get into this course, which is MGF 1106. This course is not heavy on college algebra. So if you're not a STEM major, as they call it these days, you're not going to do any sort of heavy science or engineering or mathematics. You might not need to take college algebra, then this is what this course is for. It'll give you those college math credits so that you can go on and finish your bachelor's degree. If your bachelor's degree is not something that's going to require a lot of heavy math, then you're probably going to take this course, either MGF 1107 or Stats 2023, and that way you don't have to take the actual college algebra, which has a reputation, for being harder, as most people say. But it's not so much harder; it's just pure algebra. So this avoids all that. The textbook, please don't buy the physical textbook. You're never going to need it. You're not going to reference it. And your MyMathLab software comes with an electronic version of the book. So there's really no need to get the physical textbook. You can see I've highlighted in yellow here this number. Letters and numbers is alphanumeric stuff. This is the code you need to register for the MyMathLab software. And if you look at the other syllabus for the other course, you'll notice it's the same number. And that's because I've merged both courses together in the MyMathLab. So instead of making two separate courses with 30 students each, I have one big course set up for 60 students. It's just easier for me to keep track of. It's a little easier for you because it's not two different numbers. Material-wise, you just need a calculator. You don't even really need it, but it helps. You cannot use your cell phone for exams, so make sure you get out of that habit. I know it's very tempting to sit down and do some homework on the computer and just pull out your cell phone as a calculator, but don't do that because you can't do that on the test. So if you never get accustomed to using your calculator and you get used to using your cell phone, then you're going to sit at the exam and it's just one more stress that you have to worry about because you don't have that comfort blanket of your cell phone. Now you're using a calculator that you haven't used before. So get used to using your calculator, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Plus, minus, multiply, divide. Maybe if it has a square root button, that'd be nice. But that's it. That's all you have to do. Basic scientific calculator. We call it a 4-function calculator. You can get it at Walmart for less than $5. If you're spending more than $5, it's probably overkill. However, I will say if you're taking statistics, you might want to invest in one of those fancier TI-83, TI-84s, or maybe you've already taken statistics and you have that calculator already. That's fine. You can totally use that on the exam. You don't have to go out and buy a cheaper calculator. Additional materials, don't buy the solutions manual. It actually comes with the software. So here's the important thing, exams. I really want to focus on this paragraph, and I'll do it on the other syllabus as well for the other course. So if you're registered for the CRN 23297, again, everything happens at 2 p.m. for you. So the orientation's at 2, is 2 to 3. Your midterm is 2 to 3. Your final exam is 2 to 4. If you're registered for the 23260 CRN, you'll just see the times change. Everything for you, orientation's at 4, midterms 4 to 5, final exams 4 to 6. So it breaks it up because the room that I have only seats about 30-something people, so I did have to split it up as far as the room goes. I had to split up the times. But you'll notice that if you jump between these two syllabi, that's the only thing that changes. So whichever course you see on Canvas, go by those times. That's all you have to do. So again, there's a midterm exam for both courses. It's on Monday, April 6th. One of them starts at 2, and the other one starts at 4. The final exam is Monday, April 27th for both courses. For one of them, it starts at 2. For the other one, it starts at 4. Those are the only differences. You have to take a midterm exam and a final exam. It's pencil and paper. It's in person. It has to either be taken on campus in room 155 of the math building on the Bradenton campus, or you have to make arrangements to take it in the testing center that day, or if you're out of state, or even just out of the county but you don't feel like driving to campus, find a local testing center to take it. Libraries and online services, like there's this online service called ProctorU, we don't accept that. That's not acceptable. You have to physically show up to an approved testing center and take the exam. So best way to do it is just to come to campus on that day at that time and take it with me. If you can't do that, register with the SCF testing center and just schedule to take it. Say you have to work at 2 o'clock. Well, then take it earlier in the day. Go in at 11 into our testing center and take it. And that'll just help you knock it out, get it out of the way. But again, that's if you're close to campus. If you're not close to campus, then perhaps you might want to, go find a testing center. Don't wait till the last minute, because it takes time for me to communicate with them. You have to find a testing center, then you have to send them, all your information, and then you have to send me their information, and then I have to contact them, and then I have to make sure that they have the proper testing arrangements, and then I have to tell them what the, how much time you have, can you use a calculator, that I have to arrange all that with them, and then I have to hear back from them and make sure they agree with everything, and then I have to send them the exam, make sure that they get the exam. It's a long process. So please, please, please be aware that you can't just email me on the day of the midterm and say, hey, I'm taking my midterm over in California, because I'm going to respond and say, no, you're not. If you're not here, you're not taking it. And it has to be taken on those days. The syllabus is set up so it tells you the days of the exams. If you email me and say, well, I want to take mine on a Friday, no, you don't get that privilege. All students take the exam on the same day. So know that now, and if that's something that doesn't work out for you, email me immediately, because we need to communicate and make sure that you understand. If you can't take it that day, then something needs to happen. You either need to take a different course, or we can at best arrange so that you can take it maybe the evening before that day or immediately the morning following that day, but you really need to take it on those days. There are no makeup exams or anything like that. Just be aware, I've had students in the past, online students specifically, just email me the day after and say, hey, something came up, I couldn't take the midterm yesterday, so I'm going to take it today. And my response is, no, you're not. You missed it. So, just make sure you know your responsibility as far as taking those 2 exams. They are not online. They have to be taken in person. Okay, grading is obviously one of the biggest things of this course, right? So the grading, the way it's broken down, is the entire course is composed of 800 points. That's 100% of the grade responsibility you have. Of those 800 points, 50 points come from the midterm study guide, 200 points from the midterm exam, 50 points from the final study guide, 200 points for the final exam. At the bulk of your grade, the 300 points is going to be coming from the My Math Lab, which is the online homework and videos, lectures, and all that stuff. So just make sure that your responsibilities in the course, and the grades are broke down into standard letter grades. 90 or higher is an A, 80 to 90 is a B, 70 to 80 is a C, etc. Late work, You can do some late work in my math lab. I have it already set up so that if it passes the due date, you just get a 25% reduction on the grade. So the best you can get is a 75%. It'll grade the work that you've done up to that point for the whole 100% of the points. But if you go back and start doing work after the due date, it'll start, grading that, but it'll give you a 25% reduction on that. Just make sure you know that, because when the due dates pass, I can't change that. It is stuck to that. It's set in stone. I don't have any control. Once the due date passes, it has to have the 25% reduction in points. The rest of this is all kind of, not stuff that you really need to be too careful about. Gordon rule just means this will get you your AA. Attendance, obviously this is online, so the only thing, the thing that you need to do is just make sure you're taking the midterm and the final. No-show policy just means, if I never hear from you in the first week, you don't take the syllabus quiz, you don't come to the orientation, you never email me, then I have to no-show you, which means remove you from the course. One thing that you do need to have is make sure that you have a good internet connection. You need reliable internet. I don't think we're going to be having any hurricanes, knock on wood, but if something happens where your internet goes down or you forgot to pay your bill, these assignments open and give you, they open up and give you the whole week to finish them. Don't work on these assignments last minute and then realize, oh my gosh, my internet's down, I can't finish my homework. Oh, I'll email him tomorrow and tell him my internet went down. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You had all week to work on it and you didn't. So make sure you get good internet somewhere. You can go to Starbucks, you can come on campus and sit in the library. Make sure you have a reliable internet connection. That is your responsibility. Misconduct I never have a problem with. Here's some numbers for technical support. Basically, my math lab's a good one. Or if it's something more specific with SCF like Canvas, there's a number to reach our IT people. Recording devices, well, I'm not going to be lecturing, so it'll just be all online anyway. Email, here's the main thing. You must communicate with me through Canvas or using your official SCF student email. Now, some of you already have kind of strayed from that and used your Gmail or whatever. It's understandable because the course hasn't really opened yet, so you couldn't use Canvas email. But usually within the first week, I'll still respond to any other outside emails, short and sweet, and then I'll say, please, from here on out, use your official student email. After about the first week or so, if you send me an email in week 4 saying, hey, I want to take the midterm at this place in Orlando because I'm not close to campus, and if you send it from your Gmail account, I cannot respond to that email, and I will not respond to that email. So just be aware of that. You have to, use the proper channels to communicate with me. So make sure you're doing that. Withdrawal, I will let you know the withdrawal date before it pops up. This is a second 8-week course, so I'm not 100% sure what the date is. It'll probably be in about 5 or 6 weeks or so. But basically, the main thing with withdrawals is that it depends. Either I give you a W and it doesn't hurt your transcript, your GPA. After the withdrawal date, I do have to give you what's called a WF, and that does hurt your GPA. So just be aware of that, but I will let you know when that date comes. Plagiarism is just cheating, is what we call it in the math world, right? Don't cheat. That's plagiarizing. The DRC is very helpful if you have anything as far as like, you think you have math anxiety or you want extra time to take exams, that has to go through them. If you need, preferential seating in the classroom, stuff like that all has to go through them. I can't give any single student preference over anything. It has to go through the DRC, and then they let me know. Non-discrimination, religious observances, again, we're barely going to be seeing each other, so I don't think that should be an issue. There's my boss is Kim Giesland. She is the department chair on the Bradenton campus. Anything you have a question with, just ask me first, but there are a few issues where I might have to go ask her. But you have her information. But ask me first, because it's usually something that she doesn't have to deal with. We can fix it before it needs to get to her. And then the most important page is probably this last page. It just breaks down all of your week by week responsibilities. So week 1, these are all the sections that you have to complete. And again, they'll be completed in my math lab. On the side, I just wanted to make you aware of what, maybe outside just the homework sections, what needs to be done. This is the orientation video. You do need to take the syllabus quiz in Canvas, which I'll show you in a second. And you do also have to purchase and register for my math lab, which is where you'll be doing all these homework sections. You can see that I even gave you some stuff for the midterm, right, where the midterm study guide is going to be due, when the midterm exam actually is. I did not want to give you homework during the week of the midterm. I wanted you to just basically focus on the midterm. So, the course is broken down into a nice 8 weeks, but it moves very, very quickly. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. If you're someone who has been away from math for a while, or you're not very computer savvy, please try to find an on-campus section, because taking math online does not mean it's easier. It actually means it's harder. By taking a math course online, you're basically saying, I want to play this game on the hardest difficulty setting there is. If you take it on campus, it's going to be easier. You're going to be in that mode of showing up every day and being responsible for the work, or surrounded by other math people who you can communicate with, and the teacher who can help you immediately respond and answer questions. When you do it online, you're sitting at midnight in your pajamas trying to figure out what the genus of some topological surface is, and you're just going to scratch your head. So it's a harder way to study math. So keep that in mind. So here's the syllabus quiz. When you're done reading through the syllabus after orientation, click on the syllabus quiz. And it's just 3 questions. It does not affect your grade. You've got 2 attempts to do it, and I don't even care if you get it right or wrong. Again, your score doesn't matter. It's just a practice quiz. Basically, what the syllabus quiz does is it says, I've read the syllabus and I'm ready to take the course. So make sure you complete the syllabus quiz. If you don't complete the syllabus quiz, you run the risk of being withdrawn from the course. So make sure you complete that syllabus quiz. So back to the home page. So you're already watching this orientation video, but you'll see that I put up here a PDF that walks you through the instructions on how to register for my math lab, which is separate from this website, and it walks you through how to get registered so you can start doing the homework and stuff like that. So you can reference this, and you see it has that same number on there, that Schaller 78132, that you're going to need to register for the course. So we'll go off to my Math Lab website in a little bit, but first, before we leave Canvas, I just want to scroll down a little bit more and say, there's a link here for the testing information. It kind of walks you through your responsibilities that you need to do in order to take the tests, either off campus or in the SCF testing center at a different time, other than the times that I provide for you. And there is a test referral form there ready to go. And the test referral form is you just fill out the very top of it, name, GU number, and when you registered to take the exam. And that's the thing that you have to send to me. The testing center on campus also has one. If you take the tests, off campus at a different testing place, they're probably going to have their own testing form that you might need to fill out. So send that to me. But I figured I'd put our SCF test referral form on here for you. And then there are the midterm study guide and the final exam study guide. Real quick, just to click on the midterm study guide, and the final exam study guide as well is going to look just like this. It basically just breaks down, hey, these are the type of questions that you need to be aware of and how to solve these questions, because the midterm is going to look very similar to this. So, hint, hint, wink, wink, this is like a practice midterm. But this is for a grade. This counts for points. And the midterm study guide, I gave you the answers. So you have the answers ready to go. And you can work through the midterm study guide multiple times, but you just keep in mind you need to be able to solve all these types of questions and more. We cover more than maybe what's on the study guide. The study guide, I tried to make it so it does cover everything you need to know for the midterm, though. So make sure you're comfortable with everything on the midterm before you go off trying to study really difficult problems or other problems that aren't on the study guide. Make sure you know you can handle the study guide, because that really is what I want you guys to be getting ready for in terms of the types of problems that should get you really comfortable and ready for the exam. And there's also one for the final exam as well. So those are up there, and these are both due on their respective dates. The midterm study guide is due the day of the midterm. You can either bring it to the midterm and hand it in, or you can just email me, scan it, email it to me. Same thing with the final exam. It's due the day of the final. Other than that, the only other thing you'll probably use Canvas for is announcements. I'll probably make a couple announcements throughout the course, or grades. The grades that we'll have are, the midterm study guide, midterm exam, final exam study guide, final exam, and the My Math Lab grade overall. So not a lot of grades. There's only 5 different things to grade essentially. You'll probably be better keeping track of your grade on My Math Lab. So let's head over to My Math Lab, and that'll be the rest of the stuff we need to know in order to be successful in the course. So the My Math Lab website, well, it used to be called My Math Lab. Now it's called My Lab Math. So they basically have all the stuff that you need in order to learn the material, basically videos that you're going to watch, homework you're going to walk through, and then, if you need reviews or practice quizzes or practice exams, all that stuff's on there. The electronic version of the textbook is on there. The student solutions manual for all the problems within the textbook is in there. So you get really a whole lot of stuff with the My Math Lab. You have to purchase it because that's where all the content is. And you can just go to Google and type in My Math Lab, and it'll be the first link that pops up. So there's 2 things that you can do when you click on the My Math Lab website. You can either sign in if you already have an account, just reuse your account, but you'll have to still purchase the software because it's for a new textbook, it's for a new course. If you've already taken MGF 1107 within the past, I don't quote me on this, but maybe year or so, you might be able to reuse that same My Math Lab code, because the My Math Lab is actually linked to the textbook that it comes from. And the textbook that we use for 1106 and 1107 is the exact same textbook. So if you've already taken MGF 1107, you can reuse that code and use it for MGF 1106. The only different thing is you'll have to type in my new course code, the Schaller 78132, when you get to it. There's also a 2-week free trial that you can use. So if you haven't bought it, or you're waiting on financial aid, or you're waiting on a paycheck, please just still go through this registration process day 1, so that I know you're at least in the course with the temporary access. It'll get you going for 2 weeks. You get 2-week free access, and then sometime in 2 weeks purchase it, and it'll let you in for the rest of the time. So if you have a login, just log in already. If you don't have a login, you're going to register as a student. When you register as a student, these are the 3 things you need. Make sure you use your SCF email address, or else you won't be getting responses from me. You need your instructor's course ID. That is the Schaller 78132. That's on the syllabus. And you also need your access code, or a credit card, or PayPal. Again, that access code is the thing that shows you bought the software. So you can either buy it in the bookstore, or you can buy it right here, right now online. And once you have those 3 things, you're ready to register. I already have an account, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing other than say this is the code you need to put in, 132. And it will say, okay, here you go. You want MGF 1106 online. Here's your instructor, Robert Schaller. I set it up so it ends at May 31st, so you'll actually have access after the course is all done. I just left a little buffer there, but obviously the course ends, I think our final exam is on the 27th, and then your duties are done after that. So again, if you already have a login, log in. If not, you'll have to create an account. Again, I already have an account, so I'm not going to go through all this, but you make a name, you make a password, security question, click all the boxes that say yes please, and then you'll be taken to the next page where it either says, okay, did you buy it, or are you going to buy it with a credit card? That screen also, if you scroll down, there's like a little blue link that says I'd like to try a 2-week free trial, so that'll at least get you in. But the next page is how you're going to show you're going to pay for it, and then the next page after that will get you into the course, which that page will look like this. Well, maybe not this, but this is like the main home page when you first log into my math lab, and you won't see all these courses because again I have a couple. You're going to see the MGF 1106 online. There's already 6 people in there. 2 of them did the free trial, which is great because technically the course hasn't even started yet. It's Sunday. But when you get into my math lab, this is what you're going to see. This is how you're going to do your homework. So real quick, I just kind of want to walk through. The first home page shows you the grades and all the things that need to be done, or basically the status of the things you've done. For me, it's the status of everyone who's in here. But on the left-hand column, there's lots of stuff. Basically, the only thing you really need is assignments. Everything under the assignments tab is how you're going to be doing the work. There is an e-text link, and that gets you to the electronic version of the textbook. If you ever struggle with the video lectures, please go to the textbook. The textbook has great explanations. And then the other thing that you might use is probably the multimedia library. Sometimes right within the assignments, there's links to the section video lectures. But if you want, probably the best thing you're going to do when you log into this and you say, okay, I am in the course, I am registered, I did the syllabus quiz, I'm ready to go, let's start learning math. Go to the multimedia library. And when you go to the multimedia library, I clicked it twice, pick which chapter you want to work through. We start in chapter 2, which is sets, section 2.1, set concepts, and click on the video link, and then hit find. And it will show you the objective videos that we have here. Understanding the fundamentals of concepts. You might need to update your browser, or if you're having trouble with a certain browser, try Firefox. I have success with. I think Internet Explorer is usually okay. Chrome is good. Most of them should be fine, but just make sure everything's updated and turn off your pop-up blockers because it needs to open the videos in a new window. But then you can go through the videos and just understand the material, understand the section. This is basically the replacement for not being in the classroom. You're not going to have access to a teacher within the classroom, so this is going to be your teacher. You're going to watch the videos and have a notebook at your side and work through some of the examples they work through and understand the concepts. Again, online math classes are harder because you're really teaching yourself. You're putting a lot on yourself to learn the material. You don't have someone there explaining it to you in maybe 2 or 3 different ways in order for everyone to get it. This is it. You have the video and you can pause and rewind, but it's the same explanation again. So again, the videos are a great start. Please watch the videos, understand as much as you can, and then when you go to the assignments, you can start working on the homework for that section. So I looked at the video for 2.1. Now I click on the homework for 2.1, and most of the homework sections are, roughly 20 questions. I don't want to make it too much overkill. And when you look on the questions themselves, some of them are multiple choice, some of them are just fill in the blank, some of them are maybe even a true-false. You might come across a true-false. But when you go through the homework, you can look and see that well, this one's kind of cheap because it's just like a box, like a drop down, and you just have to look at what's basically a collection of objects is called a set. You can go and look and see like, okay, let me check and see if I got that right. It says nice work, great, and everything. Now it'll take you to the next question. Then you can say like, okay, a set that is not finite is called let's just say it's called an empty set. And final check. Ooh, sorry, I got that wrong. Don't hit next question. Go back to try again. See, it'll give you a red X, and it'll say you were incorrect. But don't worry about that, because then you can always go back, reference your notes, or watch the video, or over here on question help, sometimes there's these nice drop downs that say, hey, take me to the textbook. I want to go ahead and look at the textbook, see if I'm doing this incorrectly or correctly. There's a link to ask my instructor, which immediately sends me an email, shows me which problem you're working on, and you just email me and say, hey, I'm having trouble understanding this one, can you please explain it to me? But if you try it again and then say, let's check my answer, and I got it right, now you'll notice that it checks it with a green check mark. I'm correct. And you can always look at your homeworks and see what you're getting right and what you're getting wrong with this nice drop down. You can also, surf through and say, maybe I don't want to do question 3 or 4. Let's go to question 5. So you can skip around a little bit. I wouldn't recommend skipping around too much, but it lets you go forward and backwards, and it saves it. As if I close this, it's already saved. Right? It'll show me, well, there should be a green check. There we go. There's a green check mark there, there's a green check mark there. So it saves my progress as I go. And then if I want, maybe let's click on assignments again, and you can see the due dates here for all these assignments. And then this is the first stuff due after the first week. And then here's the next set of assignments due on the 23rd, the next set of assignments. Right, so you can see how the course is broken down into sort of chunks. Let's say we go to homework 2.3 somewhere, and I want to start on question, this one's a little longer, let's say 23. I'm just clicking a random question here, and if you look on question help, see, so some of the earlier ones are a little more straightforward, but with some of the more difficult questions, they have these 2 extra links here that say help me solve this and view an example. And the help me solve this actually solves my homework question for me. But when I close this help me solve this, it changes my question. You might have seen some of these words and these numbers changed. The other way to do it is view an example. It'll give you different numbers and different letters and let you work through those. And then when you go through and say, it walks you through step by step by step, you see it hits continue, continue, continue. So it starts walking you through to help you out with the problem. And then when you close it, it doesn't change your question. So it lets you finish working if you've already started on your question. So those are 2 of the best resources. I would say watch the video lectures, then click on the homework, start attempting the homework after you've tried to understand as much as you can from the video lectures. And if you're getting stuck on the homework, go to these next. Help me solve this or view an example kind of breaks it down into more of a step-by-step problem-solving format. Whereas the videos teach you the concept, help me solve this or view an example really teach you like a step-by-step guide on problem solving. And then, of course, if you're still stuck, you've got the textbook, or you can email me and ask me any questions. So that's the gist of the course. Hopefully this video isn't going too long, but I'm pretty much done. So if you have any questions, please email me, either my SCF email or just through Canvas. And if nothing else, I hope you have a wonderful time in this course. Remember, it's going to move fast, so stay on top of everything. There are weekly due dates, and that midterm exam is going to come up real fast, and so is the final exam. So please, 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 my honest advice to you is, 1, if you can take this course on campus face-to-face format rather than online, please do it. Online is always more difficult. And 2, try and do as much work. If you are going to stay in this course online, try and do as much work as you can as often as you can. That means, do a little bit on Monday, a little bit on Tuesday, a little bit on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday. Don't be one of those people that procrastinates and waits till Saturday or Sunday night and then say, okay, I'm going to run a marathon and do, all my homework in one sitting. Because you're not going to retain the information that way. Math is a language. So in order to understand it, you have to practice it as often as possible and on a daily basis. It's not like you can just go to the gym once a year for 24 hours and be in shape. That's not how that works. If you go to the gym one time a year and try and do a 24-hour gym marathon, by hour 2 you're going to be collapsed. It's not going to help you. Rather, you want to do like 20 minutes of exercise every day, right? You need to chip away out of it. Same thing with math. You don't want to sit down for 6 hours straight and try and understand the concept of sets. You want to do a little bit of it, 20 minutes on Monday, a little bit, maybe half hour Tuesday. Okay, Wednesday, you got work, you can put it off, but Thursday, get back on the ball. Do it for another 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And you should find yourself being successful in the course as long as you make sure you're hitting all those due dates and studying on a regular basis and being very proactive about your approach to this course. So that said, Hopefully this video wasn't too long. And like I said, if you have any questions, please email me, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful semester. Thank you.